When I first moved to Australia, I thought my British accent would be the only difference, but no. It was the moment when I was at a party and I said, yeah, I've got bare skills at Mario Kart, and everyone just stood in silence and stared at me like I had invented a new language. And that's the thing about British slang, it's beautifully broken. It makes complete sense if you're from the UK, but down under, it will either get you laughed at or mistaken for someone having a little bit of a moment. So today, I'm going to run you through the 9 British words and phrases I cannot say in Australia unless I want to look like an absolute drongo. Let's get into it. Hey mate, welcome back if you're new here. I'm Sam, a British actor documenting my journey of rebuilding my life here in Australia. So while you're watching this, if you're from the UK, it's very likely that some of these words and phrases you might not have heard because they're very specific to my upbringing and childhood of growing up in Gloucestershire in the UK, where we have more West Country slang and also some hints of London slang as well. And remember, these words, they're not going to get you locked up in jail here in Australia, but they're definitely going to get you a few funny looks and maybe even a laugh here and there. But Aussies, they're such good vibes, they're such good energy that, you know, they won't mind. So the first word is snog. In year 10, if you told your mates that you snogged someone, this was huge. Everyone was applauding you, clapping you, or absolutely gobsmacked. And it's words like this that, even as I say them, they sound absolutely British. And that's the thing, in Australia, if you told someone that you snogged someone, they would probably think that you're in some sort of 1920s period drama. When I've said things like that to Australian relatives or mates, oh my gosh, they will laugh and they will start, you know, going, oh, can I have some tea and crumpets? And like, you know, doing the most silly RP accent ever because they just find it absolutely hilarious. And as a lot of Australians have reminded me in the comments, when you get made fun of by an Aussie, it's actually a very endearing thing. It means they like you, it means you're part of their group and you're their mate. I think I've started taking on board the Aussie version of this, or at least the Queensland version of this, which is like macking on, something like that. Wait, let me ask my wife. Maddie, if I said to you, I want to snog you, would that make you cringe? You're pulling a face. You don't like that?
No.
Have I ever said that to you?
No.
No.
When I hear the word snog, I think of Angus thumbs and perfect snog.
It's not the most pleasant word, is it?
I think we'd say pash.
Pash. But don't you say like macking on or something?
You want to kiss someone.
I want to snog you, baby.
Ew. Oh, I hate that. I hate that.
Well, there you go. Saying the word snog isn't going to get you kicked out of the country, but you're going to make a lot of Aussies cringe by the sounds of it, especially someone like my wife from Brisbane. But don't say that to my wife. Number 2 is bear. Now, I know already a lot of Brits will watch this and will go, what are you on about, mate? We don't say that. This is a London slang word that I picked up while at school. Even though I went to a school in the West Country, which is, you know, hello my lover, very more like farmer accent, and that's why I've got a hint of that in my accent. And I still catch myself saying bear. Bear means lots of or many of a thing. So like I've got bear skills, I've got bear skittles, I've got bear symbols. I don't know why I had to use alliteration there. I got bare P, which means I've got bare money. I grew up with very West Country mates who took loads of London slang, put it into their Gloucester accent, and we used to love saying that when we were like 18 and we could have our first ciders. In Australia, that sentence just sounds absolutely wrong. I've got bare pee, mate. Aussies here will probably interpret that as what? You've got raw urine? What are you going to do with it? Do you need to get rid of it? Do we need to get you to a toilet? But yeah, if I said this to another Aussie, I don't think I would even get a laugh because it's not like the word snog where an Aussie knows that word. And just a quick one, guys. I noticed that bare people who regularly watch these... I noticed that 98% of you who regularly watch these videos aren't yet subscribed. So if you are enjoying these videos, hit that subscribe button. Really helps me to keep them coming. Let's get back to it. Number 3, allow it. Again, if you're over the age of 35 and you're British, you might not have heard this one again. This is another London slang term that came into my secondary school, into my teenage years, and we thought we were so cool. Allow it means like, let it go, or forget about it. It's London slang again. But there's something about being a teenager and wanting to take all the slang from, you know, the capital city where we thought that's where all the cool people are. And we thought if we were walking around our West Country school with all the farmers, I'm sorry, I'm playing into a stereotype there. That's a bit naughty of me. If we said that though, we thought we were so cool. I mean, bonus one here. I would get people come up to me in secondary school and go, yes, Sam Ford, what you saying? Which is basically the Australian equivalent of, hello mate, how you going? And I would say it back to them. And the thing is, if I said allow it to an Aussie, they would hear it as like a permission thing. It's still not the coolest thing to say in the UK, even if you live in London. So wouldn't recommend saying it here in Australia. Another one will get you a strange look. And if you've been resonating with my story or enjoying learning some of these words today, well, I write a free weekly newsletter. It's only a 3-minute read. It's packed with some funny anecdotes and also some tips and advice about moving to Australia and improving your life. I will leave that in the first link in the description below. Let's get back to it. Number 4 is faff, or faffing around. Basically means to procrastinate, to be lazy, to not do the thing that needs to be done. They said they'd be ready 5 minutes ago, but they're still putting their shoes on, they're still getting their keys. My wife and I, we like to joke around a lot there. We are both faffers, so like if I'm ready and standing by the door, I'll be like, oh, you're properly faffing today, aren't you? And she will say the same about me if I am faffing. Unless you're saying it to Australians who don't know anything about the UK and don't know any British people, I don't think it will get you funny looks, because the Aussies that I've said it around, they usually find it quite endearing, and I think it goes back to that sort of, oh, you're British, oh, hello. But while Aussies don't use this word traditionally, in my experience, I know a lot of Aussies who, when I say it, they go, oh, that's a great word. And it's almost like they immediately know what I mean. I don't need to explain it. Number 5 is lorry. This is a practical word for truck. And it's funny, when I say faff, Aussies seem to love it. When I say lorry, people will go, mate, do you mean truck? And I have got corrected by Australians quite a few times on this one, which I found really interesting. And in Australia, if you said the word lorry to an Aussie who doesn't know it's the British word for truck, they probably think it's a guy at the RSL who plays darts. There's obviously a lot of truck drivers here. It's a very big country that needs trucks, shipping, many resources across the continent. And so getting that word right, I can understand that logistically is more important. Number 6 is zhuzh. Now, I have researched the Cambridge Dictionary version of this slang term. It's spelt in this way, or even this way sometimes. This one is absolutely iconic, and when you learn it, I'd like to think that maybe you'll take this home to your family. Now, this word zhuzh has many uses. You can say, I'm just gonna zhuzh my tea in the microwave, which means to, heat up your tea a little bit. I'm gonna zhuzh up my hair, which could mean you're gonna give it a bit of a hair dry to give it some more volume. Basically, zhuzh is to add more interest and excitement to whatever that is, whether it's you, your tea, or your ice cream. I'll sometimes, random, get some chocky ice cream, sprinkle a bit of salt on it. Now it's like sea salt chocolate ice cream. Thought I'd let you know, might change your life. Anyway, zhuzh is a beautiful word. In Australia, if I said zhuzh to someone who doesn't know what it means, they'd probably be like, I'm sorry, what are you doing to my sofa? And I go, I'm not doing that, thank you very much. You might use the word zhuzh. So I totally get that, these words, they might be used here in this beautiful country, but it's not one I hear often. But when I say it, it gets a great reaction from Aussies. Aussies seem to love it. And I know this all sounds silly. I know you're probably thinking, Sam, they're just words. But when you leave behind the country that you grew up in for 25 years of your life and you come to this beautiful paradise that's called Australia, you don't just leave behind family or routines, you also leave behind a bit of language to a certain extent, but it doesn't have to be like that. You shouldn't be ignorant to the new country you're in. Assimilate. Picking up the local lingo can really help you connect with people. But to contradict myself, you can also throw in a little bit of your native slang, your native dialect. And Aussies, even if they have a bit of a laugh, bit of banter with you, it's actually, I've found, a really good way to connect. What you just have to be careful of is that you don't force it down people's throats, obviously. People will just laugh you out of the pub you're in here in Australia if you do that. But if you say, one of your local slang words in a gracious way and in a funny way, it can open up a cool conversation and can honestly help you make better connections here in Australia. I know that sounds a bit over the top, but in my experience, it really does help. This place is so nice, man. Like how you could come here and go, This isn't one of the most beautiful places in the world. I really don't understand. Number 7 is chirpsing. This one never lands here. It's very popular in the West Country of the UK. I was chirpsing that girl last night. That is, you know, one of the cringy, I guess, phrases that you will hear in the UK, especially if you go to Cheltenham and Gloucester. Gotta put them on the map. Yeah, lovely people, but we do say some funny things back in my hometown. And it's funny, in Australia, it probably sounds like, you know, some sort of bird, like a magpie or a plover, doing something not very nice to your shoulder as it flies over you. And this word chirpsing basically means to chat up or to flirt, you know, to work your what am I doing? What am I doing with my life? I'm just sitting in a room on my own, being an absolute weirdo. So chirpsing is like chatting someone up. It's flirting. It's what you would say, especially to your mates, if, you know, you've got this bravado, you're a bit cocky. So in Australia, even if you explain to an Aussie, that's what it means. It just has some weird nature connotations to it. Even if that person really fancies your accent and, you know, the stories you talk about, I think saying the word chirpsing to someone in Australia would just get you some dodgy looks, really. Number 8 is jog on. This is a phrase, admittedly, shoot me, please don't do that. This word I'll continue to use in Australia because it's something that I would never say to someone's face because it's a bit rude. Jog on means to go away, like get lost, like, and there's attitude to it. It's got that undertone of British darkness, negativity, slight kind of sarcasm, like maybe we're not always being serious. And it's a great one. If I'm in the car, I think there's bigger things to worry about than the person that's just cut you up. But I'll probably say under my breath, oh, jog on, mate, like seriously. But I would never say it to someone's face because it's absolutely rude. When I play Mario Kart online with strangers, I sound really cool right now. I'll definitely be like, oh, jog on, mate, stop hitting me with your red shells. When it's a green shell, that is. So if I said this to an Aussie, they would either know exactly what I mean and they'd be like, oh, get lost, mate. Or they would probably think I'm, you know, being very sporty or talking about my deep passion for running, which no one really seems to care about. Number 9 is naff. Excellent word. It is the ultimate word for something rubbish, something not good, for something that is absolutely shit. This is definitely not a word I would ever use in Australia because I know I would get roasted. Mentally in the back of my head, I'm like, right, Sam, don't say naff, don't say bear, don't say peng, don't say these words. Everyone's just gonna think you're a weirdo. So slang can sometimes be so specific that, you know, it's only understood on the island that you're born on, which for me is a very tiny island, which is a 24-hour flight away. And I miss it sometimes. Now, if you had fun with this one, I know you're absolutely going to love this video here about the 8 things Aussies do way better than British people. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. I will see you in the next one. See you soon. Bye.